Oh, folks, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but woo, 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 the hat thing again, eh? We got a mutual friend in here, YouTube. He's got a problem. He said my diesel engine is cold-hearted. What that means, cold-hearted, means it's hard to start. And this friend, well, he posted the video about 2 days ago, and he changed the battery on his videos. Grampy's Workshop, okay? I don't know if you guys watch him. If you don't, you should. He's always got some mostly wood projects. But what we're going to talk about, I was going to leave comments on his, on his videos about what he could check, and then it became just too elaborate. So I said, I'm going to make a video on it. It's cold-hearted diesel engines. My first question that comes to mind for him and for whomever, was it always like that? Like, was it always hard to start? Because a cold-hearted engine, that's the problem, it's hard to start. And so I don't know the answers. So he could fill in the blanks if he wants. But that's my first question. Was it always hard to start? And from what I gather, I don't know. But I know one thing, okay? And he put in a new battery. He tested, I presume, okay? We didn't see this in action. He tested, and on the crank, okay, he got 8 volts at the battery cranking. 8 volts. If he would test at the starter, okay, 8 volts would be maybe down to 6 volts. So it doesn't make for a good start. I guarantee you that. You're half the voltage, well, less than half the voltage of what you're supposed to be, eh? For the starter. So, hey, I don't know all the things. I know one thing, eh? If you take like good booster cable, not a $10 boosting set of cables, but a good boosting cable with good clamps, put it on the battery, go to the starter, one on the frame, and then one on the starter solenoid, then start it. And see if it starts the same way. Like when he started, I could tell just by the way it turned. It turned like the old Chrysers used to turn. Like, and you'd never be able, and they were a gas engine, and you were never able to start them in the cold because they wouldn't turn. Because they had a gear reduction. They needed the gear reduction, I think, to get enough torque out of the starter. See, things weren't the best in those days. That's in my younger days, eh? But, okay, let's go back. And we're going to try to figure out, hey, what's the problem here? Why is this engine, why is he getting 8 volts at I presume at the battery? How come this is a new battery, why is it dropping that much? It's got to be voltage drop someplace. Maybe the cable's not big enough. My contention, well, I don't know if I should say this at the moment. My contention is the starters pass the best, and it's on its way to failing. That's my contention. But we're gonna do a little bit of talking first here before we get too far into this. My first question is, when he puts the key in and he turns and he gets ready to start, first of all, okay, I think he's got glow plugs. This is I believe it's a Izuki engine in those Massey's. Needless to say, it's not made in North America. I believe it's a Izuki engine. Nothing wrong with that. It's just like we got to know what we're talking about here. So, okay, so when you go to start it, put the 10-second glow plug or 2 shots of glow plug, and then you start. But I'm wondering if he's glow plugging at the same time as the start. So then you get a double whammy on the battery, like glow plugs and the starter. So that would reduce your voltage, because those glow plugs, they draw. If there's only 3 of them, unless it's a throttle body heater, a grid heater on the throttle body, but I don't think that's the type that he has. I think it's your glow plugs. And those glow plugs have a rail, eh? Well, first of all, it's hard to start. The reason it's hard to start, it's not turning, okay? And if it turns, then it's got to have glow plugs, good glow plugs. I know this, okay, because I dealt on the farm. There's a, what's the name of that kind of tractor? Anyways, it's orange. not a Yanmar, not a Kubota. It's anyways, I won't think of it. The old age. Eh? Anyways, the relay for the glow plug was gone. So they thought they were giving glow plugs. I tested the glow plugs, okay? Glow plugs, if you want to, you should establish that your glow plugs are all working, okay? The way you do that is you disconnect the rail that goes to every glow plug, and you put an amp probe and you see if there's a resistance, okay? Or individually test them and see if it gets red, then the glow plug's good. Then you reinstall it, eh? Then you put the rail on. Then you test. But anyways, the problem at the farm is that the glow plugs weren't working, eh? So it was hard to start. And eventually, you know what? They had to change the starter, because the starter crank forever, eh? The engine's not supposed to start like that. It's supposed to start easily. Like, you're not supposed to heat up that starter. And starter, you heat it up once, okay? And then every time you do it, it's a degrading thing, eh? Eventually, your winding is inside the cook. And you're losing efficiency, and you're downgrading your starter, okay? And another thing, too, I want to say in here is that all these starters are not all the same, eh? You can get a heavy duty starter, you can get an industrial duty starter. There's all kinds, eh? So I would suggest, if he goes out to buy a starter, well, first thing, go to a dealer and listen to a brand new tractor. Listen to it start. You got a brand new battery? Go to a dealer, listen to it start. And if yours doesn't crank like the one at the dealer, your starter's cooked, or you have a resistance, but you'll be able to establish this booster cables direct on the battery right to the starter. And if nothing changes, your starter's done. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, eh? It's just there's many things to eliminate the starting problem. First, you establish what has to work. Diesel's not complicated. Diesel's got very high compression, okay, and it's got fuel, and it's got injectors, and fuel pump, injectors, and if you spray, there's a name for that. I won't be able to think about it, but vaporize, okay, the spray, and then bring that cylinder under compression. She's going to fire, but it has to turn. If it's not turning, you're not going nowhere. It's not going to start, and I'm sure if you go looking for starters, you'll be able to find different kinds, and even on the web, like on Amazon, you could probably find a starter for the. But see, they have different sizes of engines. They got 3 cylinders, and then I believe they got 4 cylinders. The cylinders that big in there, so it doesn't take much to turn. But they don't put more than they have to when they build these. So they won't put a $200 starter if they could put a $50 starter in there. So if you go buying a starter, don't cheap out there. Buy something that's got some oomph to it, and it'll turn it. Something you can try, okay? If it, I know, my engine, okay? The Cottage there, it's on the John Deere, is a Yanmar engine, and they're well known for the easy to start. But they have a grid heater, in the throttle body, intake throttle body. So that's take your wife's hairdryer, stick it. Well, you watch it. Don't put it in where there's plastic, Put it in the metal part, the throttle body, and the breather, Put it in the metal part, and then you'll see it'll start. It's incredible what hot air does, But anyways, so I don't know. Yeah, I think there's a parasitic load on that battery when you're starting, and it could be right to the starter, or it's from the battery to the starter. It's on the way. That's the only way, is to diagnose it, find out which it is, and then you repair it. Too bad you bought a brand new battery for it. Bah, hey, it's gonna last you. I got one on the tractor. I think it's 13 years old this year. It's going to be 14 next spring. I think it's due though. Doesn't know, nobody no money. So that's it. I didn't make this video to flap my wings and tell everybody how good my tractor is. Just trying to help somebody in here that maybe needs a little bit of guidance. And I'm not saying that I know, but you gotta diagnose this. And Mike's got some background in electrical, so he should be able to put the finger on where the problem is. Anyways, hopefully, if somebody else has any ideas, well, you're welcome to contribute. Okay, folks, that's it for this one. We're going to get back to work here because we got a lot of little things we have to do. Well, comments are welcome. We'll see you in the next one.